Father, we thank you for the chance to be here together, and we thank you, God, for uh, bringing us into another school year. Uh, we pray, Father, that you keep our kids safe this year, keep their teachers safe, and help us to have a good year. Um, we ask that during this meeting that any decisions we make that we make with your wisdom. These things we ask in the name of Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Danny. Am I going to start with public comments or going right into the awards?
We're going to do public comment after your votes.
Okay. All right. Well, then we're going to begin with our recognition, and we have a lot of them tonight.
We have several. It's a fun night. First up, we're going to do all A's from last year. And Mrs. Brown-Nally will call the school and have the students come up. The students come up on stage and line up. We'll get one picture once everybody gets up.
First, we'd like to call up last year's 5th and 6th graders from Custer Baker Intermediate School. Come on up. You got your certificates as you came in tonight. And what we'd like for you to do is I'm going to hand you the microphone, introduce yourself, and also introduce your parents or whoever other guests you brought with you by name tonight.
I'm Carly Hargis, and my mom and my dad brought me.
I'm Liv Paramore. My mom, Melissa Paramore, brought me.
I'm Barrett Daly, and Heather Daly brought me.
I'm going to stop for a second. Tell us what grade you're in.
Okay, I'm in 7th grade now.
I am Grant Jones, and my dad, Jordan Jones, and my mom, Lisa Jones, brought me.
I'm Darren Gravett. My mom and dad brought me, and I'm in 7th grade.
I'm Rihanna White, and I'm in 7th grade.
I'm Leah McCord. I'm in 7th grade, and my mom and dad brought me. I'm Eric York. I'm in 7th grade, and my mom and dad brought me.
I'm Morgan Purdy, and I'm in 7th grade. My mom, my dad, my grandma, and my siblings and my cousin brought me.
I'm Cassie Clip. I'm in 7th grade. My mom and my grandma, my siblings brought me.
I'm Will McGinnis. My mom and my dad brought me, and I'm in 6th grade.
My name is Brody Reinhold. My mom and dad brought me, and I'm in 7th grade.
My name is Kinsey Willery, and my mom and dad and my siblings brought me, and I'm in 7th grade.
I'm Kyra Baker. My mom and dad brought me, and I'm in 7th grade.
I'm Miriam Jones. My mom brought me, and I'm in 7th grade.
Hi, I'm Andrew Page. My mom brought me, and I'm in 7th grade.
My name is Matthew Hensley, and my dad brought me, my brother, and both my grandparents are here. I'm in 7th grade.
I'm Jacqueline Boardman, and my mom brought me. My sister's here with me, and I'm in 7th grade.
I'm Alina Fisk, and my mom and dad brought me, and I'm in 7th grade.
Hi, my name is Samantha Thurman. My mom and dad brought me, and I'm in 6th grade.
I'm Leighton Tinberg. My mom brought me, and I'm in 6th grade.
I'm Jake. I'm in 7th grade, and my mom and dad brought me.
I'm Eden. I'm in 6th grade, and my mom and dad brought me. My brother is also here.
We're also going to give a quick shout out to your elementary school. If you went to Union Elementary, raise your hand. All right. Creekside Cougars. Northwood Owls. Webb Spiders. And Needham Bulldogs. All right, well, congratulations. Tonight we're honoring 186 students for all A's. We're going to get a picture, though. We need to have you guys, we're going to form 3 rows. So if you're in 5th grade last year, come up here and be in this front row. And if you will just kind of kneel down, probably the easiest. And then sixth grade, kind of second row right behind them. And if you're kind of tall in seventh grade, you get to be in the back row. How about that? Well, you guys got all A's. We'll figure this one out. Here you go. Scoot on up. Some of you over here, scoot on over this way. Slide this way. Come this way. Everybody towards me. All right. We're going to get a picture. Congratulations. Thank you.
Next, we'd like to recognize those students who were 7th and 8th graders last year. So if you are a middle school student and received all A's, please come on stage. And the folks who brought you tonight are very, very proud of you. So if you would please introduce them by name, not just my mom and dad. Okay? They want a little recognition as well.
Hi, my name's Josie Arney, and Mike and Sadie Arney brought me, and I'm in 8th grade.
I'm Alexis King. My mom, Angie, brought me, and I'm in 9th grade.
I'm Autumn Marietta. James and Dana Marietta brought me, and I'm a freshman.
I'm Avery Schultz, and my mom and dad, Heather and Toby Schultz, brought me, and I'm in 8th grade.
My name's Hannah Bergner, and my dad, Donald Bergner, brought me, and I'm in 8th grade.
I'm Aaron Hollis, and my mom, Stacy Hollis, and my dad, Joey Hollis, brought me, and I'm a freshman.
I'm Sierra Pence. My mom, Jennifer, and my dad, Brad, brought me, and my sister's here too, and I'm a freshman now.
My name's Andrew Bixler. My mom, Cheryl Bixler, brought me, and I'm a freshman.
My name's Madison Wheeler, and Don Wheeler brought me, and I'm a freshman.
I'm Sarah, and my parents, Angie Brown and Steve Brown, brought me, and I'm a freshman.
I'm Abby Tatera, and I'm here with my mom, Heather Tatera, and my grandparents. I'm in 8th grade.
I'm Scarlett Friend. I'm a freshman, and my sister Brenna Friend, and my sister Arden Friend, and my brother Brody Friend brought me.
I'm Allie Terrell. I'm a freshman, and my mom, Brandy Terrell, brought me. I'm Jessie Fraley, and my mom, Kendra Fraley, brought me here, and I'm a freshman.
I'm Carla Gildersleeve. My dad and my mom brought me, and I'm a freshman.
I'm Alexandra Boardman, and my mom, Gina Boardman, brought me, and along with my sister, and I'm a freshman. My name is Mimi Schaus. I'm in 8th grade. My wonderful mom brought me, and my adorable 7-year-old brother, Grayson.
Well done. All right, we're going to get a picture. So let's have, if you're in 8th grade this year, right here, 9th graders stand behind. Let's see how that works out. Not well. So let's just fill in. Miss Brown, come on up here. I know it. Yeah, come on up. All right. Yeah. I'm going to come up. All right, let's squeeze in. Andrew, squeeze in. Yeah, yeah. What? Couple more. Holly, you want to step up? All right. All right. How's that? Congratulations.
But lastly, we'd like to recognize those FCHS students from last year with all A's. And as a former high school counselor, I can tell you this is a hard task to pull off. So if you were a 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th grader last year and had all A's, please come forward.
Yeah. We did have a few more that received an A with their different activities.
Hi, my name's Kinsley. My mother, Cameron Crocker, brought me, and I'm a senior now.
My name's Shelby, and my parents and my sister brought me, and I'm a senior.
My name is Caleb Wirtz. I'm a junior, and I brought myself because I just finally got my license. But my dad's still here to support me.
Hi, I'm Katie Prick. I'm a junior now, and my parents brought me.
Hi, my name is Autumn Smith. I am currently a sophomore, and my parents, Alicia and Steve Smith, brought me.
Hi, I'm Alexander Watkins. I'm currently a sophomore, and my parents, Michael and Anita Watkins, brought me.
Ask two of our high school students to stay up because they're being recognized again tonight. First, we'd like to recognize Shelby Miles. Shelby brought home a silver medal at her very first international competition at the 2015 North American Championships. Out of 2 weight classes combined, Shelby finished in 2nd place. In addition to winning an overall silver medal, she also walked away with 3 international records. Congratulations to Shelby. And then we'd also like to recognize Kinsley Castro, who was an IHSAA state track qualifier for the discus. Jacob Hash, are you here tonight? We wanted to recognize Jacob as, yep, come on up. We just didn't see you. Jacob qualified for the 2014-15 IHSAA Boys State Golf Tournament.
My parents are David and Leslie Hash, and I finished in tied for 27th place. So, my plans right now are to go to Western Kentucky University. Undecided in my major. So.
Congratulations. Well done. Are you going to play next year? Yeah, I think so.
Picture. We have another former Cub returning, Jake Stevenson. Jake graduated last year. He was named the Daily Journal's 2015 Johnson County Male Athlete of the Year. Jake is a 4-year letter winner in wrestling and 3-time letter winner in football. Jake Stevenson.
came with my parents, Mark and Susan Stevenson. I'll be attending the Purdue University in the fall to study civil engineering.
Congratulations.
We had two other students qualify for the IHSAA state track meet. Tyler Hendricks qualified at the state for shot put. Is Tyler here? And our other student, Blaine Connors, who I knew could not be here tonight, qualified at the state for the 1600. And he also earned his first team academic all-state honors for boys track and field. He's the 24th athlete since the award was started in 1995 from Franklin to earn the first team academic all-state. We're very proud of him. Under our guiding principle of leadership, we'd like to recognize Mr. Jim Toole. The band at Franklin Community Middle School is the recipient of the Indiana State School Music Association All Music Award for the 2014-15 school year. Congratulations to the talented young musicians and instrumental staff for this outstanding accomplishment this past year.
Do I want to talk? It's funny, I can talk to kids all day long and find put me in an environment like this and I'm all nerves. I think the best thing about this award, honestly, is a testament to the teamwork of the entire program. It took everybody working together, from the kids, the parents, the adjunct instructors, the administration, and I think that that is one of the most rewarding things about this, is just the teamwork that it took to accomplish this.
Well done. Well done.
And lastly, tonight we'd like to recognize a special group. Probably one of my most favorite things to do in my job is to work with our cadre of new teachers as they come in every year to Franklin Community Schools. This year's class of teachers is top notch, so I'd like to introduce them to you now. If our new teachers would please come forward. They've been on this stage a lot already this year. We'll have you introduce yourself and where you are teaching and what you are teaching, please.
Hi, I'm Belinda Williams. I am teaching at Webb Elementary, kindergarten.
Hi, I'm Jenna Waltz, and I'm teaching third grade language arts at Webb.
Hi, I'm Brittany Holliker, and I'm teaching kindergarten at Northwood Elementary.
Hi, I'm Megan Osborne, and I'm teaching special education at Northwood Elementary.
Hello, I'm Laura Tran, and I'm teaching second grade at Northwood Elementary.
Craig Harvey, teaching social studies and special services at the high school.
Doug Baker, I'm teaching U.S. history, psychology, and AP Psych here at the high school.
I'm Haley Anderson, and I'm teaching algebra here at FCHS.
I'm Caitlin Stewart, and I'm the new chemistry and ICP teacher here at FCHS.
I'm Hope Slevin, and I am the elementary ELL teacher.
I'm Tisha O'Neill, and I'm teaching fourth grade at Creekside.
Angela Jackson here at the high school teaching ninth grade English.
Hi, I'm Kelly McCullough, and I'm teaching Title I at Creekside.
Hi, my name is Whitney McCarthy, and I'm teaching 5th grade social studies and science at Custer Baker.
I'm Tina Tracy, and I'm the new 7th grade counselor at the middle school.
I'm Jesselyn Garrett, and I'm teaching art at Creekside Elementary.
Hi, I'm Krista Dameron, and I am teaching kindergarten at Creekside.
Hi, I'm Jody Bridges. I'm at Webb in 2nd grade.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Fish, and I'm teaching band and choir at CBIS.
Hi, and I'm Noah Buchan. I'm the new music teacher at Union and Webb Elementary School.
some new ones, though. We have some new ones.
Okay, come back. I gotta get
Sorry, we've added teachers since we all met last time.
All right, we're just about to begin the business portion of our meeting, and certainly everyone's welcome to stay, but does not need to if you prefer not. It's pretty cool. You'll love it. Just like yelling fire. I don't know that would clear it out any faster. Yeah, so it's early morning things that you just. If everyone leaves, I'm gonna have them dim these lights. All right, well, I would invite anyone who in the public that has comments on the items on the agenda that would like to address the board. It's our practice to award 2 minutes to anybody who would like to comment on items on the agenda from the public. Hearing none regarding board comments. Are there any comments from the Music Council?
No comments.
We will be meeting probably next month as we start the school year and also wrapping up a few things from last year as well.
Any comments from the Athletic Council?
We have not met since last month. I do know that Mr. Regas hosted a player and parent meeting for the fall athletes, and I understand it went very well, but nothing else to report beyond that.
I don't know of any from the Legislative Council. Are there any from Superintendent Strategic Task Force Council?
Nothing to report.
Communications Committee?
We haven't met.
Collective bargaining? Nothing new at Central 9 and RDC.
Nothing new.
All right.
On collective bargaining, we are in the formal phase of negotiating. And
Okay.
that began on August the 3rd.
All right. All right, that brings us to the consent agenda. I'd entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
It's been moved for approval. Any questions or comments on the consent agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Superintendent reports, assessment data. Mrs. Brown now.
Just quickly wanted to update you, the IRE3 results are formally out for public record now. We had 340 students pass at a pass rate of 85.6. This is after our spring and summer testing. That's 340 students who passed. We had 57 students who did not pass, and that would be 14.4%. Of those 57, 54 were covered by the good cause exemption. So that means they either had an IEP, an ILP, or that's really the only two causes for our kids. So that really gave us a pass rate of, as far as moving students on to third grade, right at 99%. We've been 100% every other year, but I think that's still pretty good trend data. The students who did not pass, were retained in third grade. One has already moved out of our district. He had just been here since January. And the other two are both in third grade classrooms again this year. So we'll work hard and make sure that this coming year, both of those students pass the test. Any questions on IRE3?
No, thank you.
Okay, just wanted to quickly update you. If you remember last year, we lamented all year long that we didn't have good data as far as formative assessments or benchmark data throughout the year. One thing the state has done this year is allowed us to choose our own type of formative assessment. So they're initiating a formative assessment grant, which I think we should get sometime at the end of this month. And we have selected to go back to NWEA grades 2 through 10. So we are very excited about that. Our teachers are very excited about the data that they'll have and the curriculum resources that they'll have back that they've missed very much last year. So,
And that test is funded by a grant?
it will be paid for from the grant, yes. The state, I believe, is giving us $17 and some odd cents per student. And the NWEA bid is at $12 and some odd cents. So I'm also looking, NWEA has another instructional resource that we might be able to tag into under that $17 as well to use for our ITI and intervention groups.
Mrs. Nally, would you share just a little bit about K-1-2, what's happening with that?
I'm not really sure exactly. K-1-2, in the past we've used Dibbles, which has always been free and provided by the state. And feel free, Kent or Katie or any of the elementary principals to jump in here. That is no longer free. What the state is hoping they'll do is have some extra money left over from the formative assessment grant, throw it into a pot of money along with the early literacy grant that we've had in the past, and that we also will be able to spend close to $12 or $17 per student for K-2. That is a better benchmark for those grade levels than NWEA, we feel. And so hopefully once the dust settles, we'll still be able to purchase that resource as well.
I would just add that the K-1-2 really is in flux. If you listen to the state board, they said clearly they were funding grades 3 through 10, and if they have money left over. Well, everybody's hoping they have money left over. The other caveat is, and I think, and Deb mentioned this one to bring up, it could be a competitive grant. So not everybody in the state would have that opportunity. Because right now, early literacy grant is competitive. You know, if you remember last year, all of our teachers did receive it, and we received training.
Because we're prior customers, they did allow us to start this school year with that data. So we'll have some initial data to at least get our teachers started with instruction. Whether or not we can follow that up with middle of year or end of year is yet to be known.
We will keep you posted. I will tell you, we did not budget money for K-1-2 if it does not come through.
So what's the cost of K-1-2 if it doesn't come through?
Kent, what was the cost of Amplify 1752 per student. K-1-2.
Because we did budget for grades 2 through 4 in NWEA, there's a little bit of play money there. If we get those 2 grades covered by the grants, we would have that money set aside, but I'm still not sure it's enough to cover what we would like for it to cover for K2.
How many K-2 students do we have district-wide? I have that right here. In kindergarten, we have 361 students presently. Grade 1, 385. K2, 420 students. So we will keep you posted. I know that they just sent information about that here the last couple of days. Okay, thanks.
Mr. Mercer's exciting budget workshop.
Oh, it's that time of year again. And despite the fact that I looked at this about 30 times, I recognized a mistake already, which I'll apologize for up front. First slide that you'll see on the screen is kind of a snapshot of what happens beginning tonight and working right on through to actually November. We'll be doing the workshop this evening. I'll be requesting your permission to advertise our budget. We'll be back in September for our public hearing. The mistake is actually October the 12th. That is the normal board meeting night. However, that does fall across our fall break. And so our board meeting is actually a week later. It should be October 19th. October 19th is reflected on all of our budget documents, but apparently I didn't get the memo on my PowerPoint, so I apologize. And then, of course, we are legally required to send the adopted budget on to the county auditor by November the 1st. So that kind of gives you a snapshot of where we're headed. Just as a reminder to especially anyone that's here tonight, the 5 funds that you're going to see in the budget this evening are the general fund, and their descriptors are listed on the screen. I won't read them to you. The general fund, the debt service fund, transportation bus replacement, our transportation operating fund, and capital projects. Those will be the 5 that you'll see shared throughout. I always like to try to give an update on assessed valuation, and many thanks to the mayor who's here tonight and really our entire city of Franklin who's worked so diligently to create some energy and excitement. One of the things that certainly helped us the last couple of years is our assessed valuation has gone back up significantly. You'll notice in 13-14 we jumped 5.3%. In 14-15 we were up another 1.4% for a total of 6.7%. And that's made a big difference not only in our tax rate but also in the amount of circuit breaker loss that we've experienced. The 15-16 listed down below is simply an estimate. We tend to estimate that a little bit low. We certainly don't think we're going to go backwards 4.89%, but that's one of the caveats of having to do the budget. That's kind of the way that it works. I'd also like to share with you a couple of additional items. One is our historical tax rate. I think it's always prudent and helpful for our community, certainly, to see where we've been and where we are. Dating back to the 2008 year, we have had a reduction of 44.12%. Clearly, the general fund was taken over by the state of Indiana, but you'll notice in the last 2 years, this year included, we have been at $1.47, which is a fairly attractive rate when you consider some of those not too far away from us whose tax rates aren't even close to that, and that's a good thing for everyone. Our rainy day history, we did drop just a little bit this past year. We utilized some of those dollars to assist with transportation in the shortfall that we have historically in that fund each and every year, but it is a fairly robust amount. I might note that $1.618 million of our rainy day is attributed to the sale of our east side property from a few years ago, and we have set that aside for any future land purchases that may be necessary. So Matt, I don't know what whoops was, but it's a whoops on this slide, so okay. Actually, let me cover that. Oh, that was general fund operating balance, so I'll just kind of denote for the board and for anyone else that can see it. Our general fund operating balance this past year, which is really our retained earnings at the end of the year, was at 8.64%. And the target goal for our school corporation for the last couple of years has been 8%, so we were right on top of that. These are our proposed advertised amounts for 2016. You might note, and I know the board recalls, that we advertise high each and every year in order to be able to get as much of the levy as we possibly can. And so you can kind of see some of the historical tracking of both advertised and approved rates historically. Dating back to 2013, you'll see that we advertised $1.77. It came in $1.68. In 14, we advertised $1.83. It came in at $1.47. Last year, we advertised at $2.04. And as I mentioned to you at that time, we didn't anticipate it being there. It actually came in again at $1.47. We will advertise this year at $2.09. I don't anticipate it being there again. In fact, we'll be considerably less than that unless something surprising happens. Our advertised budget comparison, I like to be able to do this each year so that you can kind of see the funds, what we advertised last year and what our actual budget was, and then what we're advertising this year. Out to the right, you'll see the percentage change that we're predicting, and you'll note the general fund is up about 2.44%. We do have a few more revenue sources this year that we built into the budget. One of them is our JMH nursing scenario, which added quite a few dollars. Our Cub Care, Cub Academy also assisted there as well, and so several items. Debt service, you'll note, is down 6.8%. Of course, we've talked all along that 2015 would be our highest debt service year, and next year we go back and then pretty much stay stationary for the next 8 or 9 years, and so it'll be in the mid 14 million area. Capital projects, a slight increase of 1.13. Transportation is a 5.93 increase in advertised. We don't think we'll get quite that much, and it's $2 million, which is a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of things, not a massive increase from the year before. And then bus replacement is up about 61,000 in terms of advertisement. We won't get quite that much, I don't believe, but at any rate, that's where it's at. And the overall budget will be down about 0.1% from start to finish. Here are some of the specifics, capital projects, the advertised amount for 15, and a comparison to the advertised amount for this year. Very similar in scope. Dollars aren't really very different, about $48,000 difference from one year to the next. Transportation, we've advertised a little over $100,000 more. Again, I don't think we'll get that much, but the reality is we continue to be upside down in that fund, and there's literally nothing that we can do at this point, so we do our very best to try to get as much as we can. There's just not enough there to fund that particular area. These are the building comparisons from last year to this year. You'll see that most of the buildings are up a little bit. Oftentimes you end up shifting departments or individuals from one building to another, and so that will account for most of the anomalies when you consider that you're a different $77,000 at Northwood Elementary in a $2.7 million budget. It's really not a big swing. And you can see the remainder of the buildings. The high school is actually down a little bit from last year. Creekside was probably the one that stood out the most, and there were some personnel adjustments and additions there that added to that, along with a couple other miscellaneous items. These are the departments and entities that we budget each and every year. Central 9, of course. Matt's ISD has a tiny little amount. Some general fund advertisement and or some general fund budgeting and transportation, special services, and so forth. And then you'll see down at the very bottom in yellow, the difference, the net difference in our general fund from last year to this year in terms of what we've advertised will be $772,000. That's a real quick look at where we're at in terms of our budgeting for this year. In a few moments, I'm going to ask your permission to advertise. I would be happy to answer any questions should you have them about anything that that I've shared in the workshop itself.
Just a quick reminder, the district is anything that's not associated to a specific building. So it's not necessarily one district department or anything. It's just anything that's not associated to a building.
Thank you.
All right, enrollment update.
It just briefly, quickly gave the primary grades. We are up, students from our projected about 34. We're still counting and tallying the high school. We have an Excel spreadsheet to keep track of. But to date, we have 5,088 students enrolled in our district. And we'll continue to monitor that. Just remember the second Friday in September, we will have our ADM day and then finish out and get certified early October. So there's some positive trends. We're looking at an elementary class size average of about 24, 23.9. Our largest grade in class size is in grade 2, and that actually has 24.7. And that also has a class of 420 students. So that's where we are. And then middle school is actually up about 26 bodies, I believe it is. And they were tracking with CBIS the past couple of years, but they've nudged ahead slightly. It's a quick enrollment update.
All right, thank you. Action items, the walking trail easement. I believe our mayor's here.
Probably our own walking trail turn to get up here. Okay. That's what I thought it was.
We good here?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Since my son didn't say our names when he was up on stage, I drove my son Will, my wife Ann drove third grader at Creekside Ella. And with that, I'm going to defer to our city engineer. He knows way more about this trail than I do. I just take credit for it. So, Travis.
Good evening. Travis Underhill, I'm the city engineer with the city of Franklin. What you're seeing on your big boards right now is a minuscule portion of this project, to be very candid. The overall scope takes us from the intersection of Eastview and King Street along the truck bypass corridor all the way to the intersection of 31 and Commerce, where, as I understand it, at some point when either the school system was building this facility or shortly thereafter built a trail out to that intersection to connect. So you have about 3.5 miles worth of trail in total. What you're seeing on this snapshot is the part that impacts the two elementary schools adjacent to the intersection of Upper Shelbyville and Eastview. And really, all told, the area of impact is 0.04 of an acre, so 0.04 acres. Really, we're crossing the street at that point, and we just need to extend and tie into an existing trail that's already there. What the district should have received at some point, which is what brings us here this evening, and in the recent past, was an appraisal report, financial disclosure, so on and so forth, how we came to a valuation for this piece of real estate. And included with that would have been a document that indicated this is the appraisal and this is how much in payment for this easement and right of way, or another similar document that would have been an opportunity for donation of this parcel if that was something that was considered by any of the folks along the trails. If there are any other detailed questions, I'm happy to answer.
All right, so I understand that there's asking for 0.04 acres easement, $500. Is that ballpark?
Yes, my understanding,
Right.
your valuation for that amount or for that property was $500.
Well, we certainly have appreciated the cooperation that we have had in the past and continue to have and will have in the future with the city. And so we want to do our part for the better of our community. And we believe that this is, I think this is beneficial to the community. So I would move that we approve the grant of easement, but I would move that it be as a no consideration, that it be a gift from the school and for the betterment of our greater community.
Are you able to make that motion? Or do you need one of those two?
Well, I guess I would also, just to make it cleaner, I would entertain a motion mirroring my motion.
So moved.
All right, it's been so moved. All those in favor of granting this small easement so that the city can complete this trail for the betterment of our greater community, please signify by sign of aye. Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. We appreciate your presentation and
President Mashmeyer.
Thank you all very much.
yes.
Mayor, I've spoken with the city attorney on this because this is a conveyance of an interest in land to another governmental entity. The school corporation does not have to go through the formal appraisal and offering process that it would if the land were being given to a private concern. However, the law is specific that both governing bodies must prepare nearly identical resolutions confirming the transaction. So I've been in contact with your city attorney. At that time, we were not certain whether consideration would be requested or not. So I will get back with the city attorney, let her know what this board's decision is, and you can expect then that she will prepare and present for the Board of Works consideration. This is being acquired by the city, I believe, not the Park Department. Is that correct? Then it will come to the Board of Works by way of a resolution, and I will prepare then a nearly identical resolution to be signed by this board. No further board action needs to be taken, okay, to make this effective, but we do need to put that paperwork in place. So we'll be doing that.
Okay, good. Thank you.
We, presently, we're looking at the end of this month having a joint city council and school board meeting. Could we do it at that time?
I can't hear well. End of the month.
Yes, 24th, there's going to be a joint city and school board meeting.
Was the question?
Could we have everything finished by
the
then?
answer is yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So why don't we just plan on that? We'll have that on the agenda.
Okay, so that'll be one of your agenda items. We will have ours available for our Board of Works a week from tonight.
Okay.
We have our next Board of Works at 5 o'clock a week from tonight, so we can execute it at that time.
All right.
And then the school board, we can have that on the agenda for the 24th. We really appreciate it. We have more Safe Routes to School projects coming up. That's a plan and a proposal that we won't sit around and just kind of let it collect dust. Mr. Doty has been extremely helpful working with Travis and myself, and we've got some more projects coming our way. The beauty of it all is that we've been very successful with federal funding, and so it's going to be very minimal cost to the city and the school, and we're going to be able to see a lot of additional trails, not just this 3.5 mile, but a lot of additional trails coming in the very near future. So my hats off to Mr. Doty and everything that he's done on behalf of the school corporation. So he's been very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mashmeyer, I would like to make a recommendation that we bundle Cub Care Handbook and Cub Academy Handbook as one item. If you recall, we had them in discussion. We also had one item for that. There have been no changes. Is that correct? I believe that's correct. No changes to the handbook. And so we are going to ask that you approve both handbooks as one.
All right, good. Then we would entertain a motion to approve the Cub Care Handbook and the Cub Academy Handbook all in one motion. All right, it's been moved. Any questions, comments, discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by sign of aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Time for a public hearing. All right.
Roger, can we bundle these together with the approval to advertise bus replacement transportation? Is that a yes?
Roger, can we bundle the public hearing and the permission to advertise the budget? Can we do those all at once?
I'd be more comfortable if they were done separately. And is it the 2015 budget that you're having a hearing on?
2016.
Okay, I think we should show the agenda corrected then, or at least mine, my paper says 2015 budget.
Actually, the Form 3, which is a notice to taxpayers, is not required to be approved any longer or advertised any longer, so we're not really requesting permission on it. You'll notice in your packet that it does reflect October the 19th as our public hearing date. The two that we're really after are the bus replacement plan and capital projects. So I think what I heard you say, Roger, was to do those separately.
Yeah, now under D, are we simply establishing dates upon which those public hearings will be held? Okay, yeah, that should be done by board action with the correction that it's the 2016 budget. But then, yes, I'm sorry, then the permission to advertise would then go along with establishing the dates. So that can all be done in one motion.
Okay. And so what we're asking approval on tonight, of course, is the public hearing to be held on October the 19th, 2015. And at that time, we will also request permission to, what we're doing tonight is requesting permission to advertise the bus replacement plan and the capital project plan, which will all be uploaded into the Gateway, which is the new advertising structure. And this year, I might point out too, we're only required to advertise once in the local paper. That was a change in state law and clarified by the Department of Local Government Finance. So I am requesting permission tonight to advertise both of those.
I move for approval. Very good. Thank you. Any questions, comments, discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by sign of aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Emergency allocation.
We are back in front of you tonight, I believe the third time this year for an emergency allocation, which I think really probably reflects either bad luck or the reality that freezing capital projects is catching up to us a little bit. We had some mold remediation that needed to take place at Needham Elementary, and although this is the third time we've been here, we are still well beneath the capital project budgeted amount of $150,000. So I am asking for an emergency appropriation resolution in the amount of $25,000 to be allocated with your permission from the capital projects fund so that Mr. Doty can get that paid off and taken care of.
Move for approval. All right, it's been moved for approval. Questions, comments, discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Facility use agreements with Emmanuel.
Kudos to Doug Corliss, who has been working on this for months and months. Mr. Sprout, Mr. Doty, myself, along with Doug, met with Emmanuel Church from Greenwood. We have before you tonight a contract which Mr. Young has reviewed, and the couple items that we needed to solidify have been solidified. And so we're asking your approval of this initial agreement with Emmanuel Church, which will, of course, be done nearly exclusively on Sundays and with the amounts and the timeframes listed in the contract. So we're asking your permission, your approval of that contract. This will allow Emmanuel to go ahead and get some items ordered, screens and projectors that they need to get moving on. They are anticipating probably getting started in October, but there's some things that have to happen ahead of time. So with your approval, they can go ahead, get moving, and we can enter into this agreement to host them for the next year or year and a half.
Got a
Mr.
question
Mark,
on it. I'm sorry. Is the sign, their sign is going to be there all the time in the south windows?
No, and that was actually one of Mr. Young's questions, whether that was going to be permanently affixed. It will be put up and taken down, much like the church that was there before. So it's a temporary sign that'll be taken down each and every Sunday. It will not be permanently affixed.
Do we have that language, though, in a document? Because what I'm looking at here on page 3, paragraph 3 under additional provisions is the same language that was in the original agreement, stating that the sign would remain in place during the entire term. So I am a bit, unless the board has a different document electronically in front of it, I cannot recommend approval of this agreement with that language in it. That sign cannot
That's what it seemed like to me as well when I read it.
But it was my understanding that that had been addressed with the church and had been worked out, but the language just, well, what's in front of you is just not acceptable. I'm not sure how to resolve the issue tonight.
Can we approve it pending language change that says that?
Well, we can certainly, you can certainly modify the agreement yourselves and approve the modified agreement. You can, just sit here and redraft it. My comments to the staff were that the sign should be erected either a half an hour or an hour prior to services or the space being used, and removed immediately following the services. So I kind of gave an option there, either a half hour or an hour. I don't want to speak for the church in terms of what they would find acceptable.
But we, for instance, could approve the sign could be there from an hour before to a half hour after their service and approve this contingent on that language.
I believe you could, although I would question the need for the sign after the service ends. Again, my
I just
concern.
want them to be able to get it down.
Well,
I
that's
mean, I don't want them to race right to the sign.
true. The answer is yes. You can certainly adopt the agreement with that understanding.
Even if it was 2 hours,
Yeah.
ahead of time and after the service, that would give them ample time, and they wouldn't have to rush out to do that.
What do we think?
I'm comfortable approving this subject to language change hour prior and at the conclusion of the service be removed. I think it's important for them to have it binding contract sooner than later.
All right. So is that a motion?
Yes, I make a motion that we approve the contract pending language change that refers to the sign being installed an hour prior to service and then removed at the end of the service.
All right. It's been moved to approve with the sign an hour before and and then removed at the conclusion of the service. Are any questions or comments?
No, I do want to thank Mr. Corliss for, this wouldn't happen if it wasn't for his relentless pursuit for this endeavor, and certainly will make a difference to our corporation. So thank you.
Sure, is here somewhere
Somewhere.
behind all these lights. All right. All those in favor of the motion signify by sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you for your help, Roger.
You're welcome.
Let's see. Middle School Grant Community Partners for Child Safety. Mr. Ahaus?
Whichever one there. The grant that you're seeing, the partners, community partners grant, really comes from conversations that's gone on the last couple of years about working on our transition in and out of our building. Monica Anderson, school counselor, worked hard for this grant, and the partnership also partners with Shelby County and Bartholomew County as well, for the Youth for Columbus is where it comes out of. But the idea is that the students would, as 8th graders, partner with a junior at the high school. We do some things where we do a good job of freshman orientation. They come over, they get mentors. This identifies roughly about 25 kids who it's volunteer, but teachers and counselors and people would recommend these students as almost like a pre-mentor before they get to high school. So they would meet up as eighth graders. It's a bi-monthly program where they would meet and do some activities and build that up. And then when they would move to the high school, they'd already developed that relationship. So they would move to freshmen, their mentors would move to seniors, and they'd have that freshman-senior mentoring going on with that background already in place. So it's part of what we're trying to do, to look at both ends of our building, where our sixth graders are coming over and then our eighth graders are leaving. So this grant is a part of that process.
Okay, so you're just looking for approval, and this all funded by a grant?
Yes.
All right.
And,
Any
and we're hoping
questions?
that it's something that we can, work on and then build off of, or, work with that, maybe feed into that mentoring program that they already have at the high school, where our freshmen are coming over and hooking up with seniors as a mentor system. So kind of a precursor to that.
It sounds like a good program. It's a $20,000 grant?
And that helps pay for it. They will take students and they'll take some trips. So they may visit a college, or they may go do some things. So all of those activities are included in that grant money. So that would be getting, the high schoolers will come over and visit, so that transportation would be paid for. So any of the activities that would go along with them meeting and going places or doing things would all be a part of that grant.
So then what do you do in the next year when the grant's gone? Or is this a grant you reapply for every year?
Well, that's something that we'll have to, look at what parts of it we can do, or can we reapply for the grant and what we continue. We know going into this is something that we want to get started, and we'll have to see in what ways we can continue parts of it on our own, or if we can continue to apply for the grant, will that continue to pay for those? So there, it's something to get us started, but at this point we'd have to reapply for a grant and move on from there. But
Okay. Any questions? All right, I'd entertain a motion. All right, it's been moved to approve. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by sign of aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Teacher evaluation tool, Mrs. Brown-Malley.
First, would like to thank the teachers and administrators who worked on this committee pretty much all of last school year. If you remember back in the Tony Bennett days when teacher evaluation was a hot topic, the state of Indiana was really pushed towards 3 models. And one of those models was the RISE evaluation model. And so as a district, we headed down that path as well. Then when Glenda Ritz came on board, she opened the doors wide up to really creating your own model and making it a local model. So that's what we've tried to do this year. As you look at our problem statement, we first identified with our former model that it was unwieldy, it was redundant, it lacked alignment with our guiding principles, our mission, vision, and instructional model that we had adopted. It just didn't fit who we were and what we were asking our teachers to be in the classroom. The current process that we had served as a detractor from focus on individual professional growth. We got too caught up in the numbers, we got too caught up in trying to hit different parts of the rubric, and it wasn't meant to be the way it was supposed to be. So the first thing we did was we went back to who we are. We looked at our vision, our mission, our beliefs and guiding principles, our instructional model, our PLC process, and we looked at the current tool that we had, and we decided what parts of it were good. The whole thing wasn't bad. We didn't want to throw it all away, but there were parts of it that hit these areas very strongly, and other parts of it that didn't hit any of these areas. For example, PLC, which is pretty big in who we are, was not really anywhere to be found in the old rubric that we used. The next step we did was we identified key characteristics of a model teacher. You can see that here we condensed the list to these bullets on this slide, everything you would want in a master teacher or your child's teacher, basically. And we were able to then narrow down to 4 domains that we felt we truly needed to take a look at as far as evaluating the instructors in our classrooms. Obviously, instruction. Classroom environment was another one. Relationships in the PLC process. Underneath each of those 4 domains, then we identified key areas. The instruction is just our instructional model. That's our 4 bullets under our instructional model. Under classroom environment, we had a culture of collaboration and respect, and the teachers felt very strongly that that needed to be student to student and also teacher to student. Set high expectations for academic and personal success. Under relationships, we had frequent and appropriate communication with all stakeholders, team approach and positive contribution to school culture. Under PLC, we had collaboration, that's using data, being prepared when you come to meetings, creating trust, and then contribution, making sure that you were contributing not only to your PLC team, but to your school as a whole. As part of our communication plan then, the committee members at this point went back to every building. They had a PowerPoint that was the same PowerPoint that we showed in every building. We had key talking points so that every building heard the same message. We obtained feedback at all of those meetings. We even provided an anonymous feedback form via Google Docs. And then the committee came back and looked for patterns and themes in that feedback, and also provided us an opportunity to answer questions or concerns that teachers may have had about any of those 4 domains. So what we ended up then, if you notice, we were at 4 domains, and one of the concerns teachers had, and principals too, was how do we really evaluate relationships? We were able to then take those 2 bullets really that we had underneath relationships, and instead of it being a category of its own, we moved one under classroom environments and one under PLCs. So it just became a different bullet under each one of those groups. And our final rubric really only has 3 domains and 10 boxes where we had, I don't remember how, we went from a 15-page document to a 3-page document. It'll be much simpler to use, and here are the check marks. It still complies with state law. We have teacher buy-in, and most importantly, it does align with our mission, vision, belief, guiding principles, and instructional model. And then the last slide just shows the weighting and rating process. This is basically the same. The only thing that changed was, not on there. I'll show you that. The only thing that changed was the professionalism was a 5% domain, and it still is, but some of the components that were under professionalism, we actually added into the rubric. So now professionalism is basically you better show up and be on time, and you need to follow our policies and procedures. If you do that, that's 5% of your weighting and rating. Now, we still have the school letter grade. Obviously, that's the law, and we heard from the Department of Ed this week that we likely won't see that until December or January of this year, which is kind of a caveat, but which means we can't finalize last year's evaluations until December or January of this year. And it will likely be like that, I'm guessing, for the next few years, as long as the letter grade is part of the evaluation process. So just to refresh your memory, and I'll stick it in this PowerPoint and make sure it's in there for next week or next month. The teacher evaluation rubric is weighted as 80% of the final evaluation. The individual SMART goal is 5%. The PLC SMART goal is 5%. The school letter grade is 5%. And the professionalism piece is a total of 5%.
Where is that information you just said?
I'm sorry.
Where is that information you just stated?
It's one slide I thought I had in there and I didn't, so I'll make sure I share that with you. And it will be in next month's slide. I plan to have one more meeting with the evaluation committee before next month's board's meeting, just to make sure everything is still good and copacetic. Matt has worked really hard on a Google form that will be a very easy to use tool for administrators and teachers while they're doing their observations and sharing that feedback and information with teachers. So got some training to do on it. But other than that, I think we're ready to go.
Will that start this school year or next school
This
year?
school year.
Sounds like you had a very well thought out process, so.
I'm
nice
sorry.
work on it. I said that you have a very well thought out process you follow. Thank you.
Thank you.
And a teacher's buy-in, so
We had a
that's
great committee. It was
very,
represented well from all grade levels and all buildings, and
Great.
just, it was a great committee.
All right, thank you. We will be voting on that, those changes, the next board meeting, and then bundled with that will be all of these certified, if they didn't change, guidance counselors, media, instructional coaches. On the principals, the one thing we are changing is having a segment on the systemic improvement process with regarding to a rubric of 4321 of following the Six Sigma processes for major items inside the buildings. And then we need to submit that by September, I believe it's 15th, so it's right after our board meeting for the school year.
Okay. Kuji, Japan.
Over the past several years, we've had students come from Kuji to visit Franklin. It's usually been in January. Rotary has come up with a $7,500 grant to have a few of our students go to Kuji. So Greg Moore is facilitating this from the Rotary and the city side. So we had a meeting at the end of July talking to 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders to see if they'd be interested. Right now, the trip has two tentative dates. One is fall break and the other is spring break, depending on the number of students that say yes, that they're going to go. So far, we've had one student put a $100 donation or $100 deposit down. We're needing between 6 and 10 students. There will be chaperones from Rotary, also from the school. I know Greg Moore is talking about going to represent, and he does speak Japanese, so we'll have that availability. So I'm bringing it to you tonight as an information, and then Greg is meeting with the city and the college tonight, actually, to talk about additional funding to see if we can bring the price down. But right now, it would be a 10-day trip for $1,500 for the students. They would be staying in host families, similar to what happens here, and they would be going to school, both at the middle school and high school. And so we'll keep you updated on that, but I wanted to make you aware of it. And then it's not really a school-sponsored trip, it's a Rotary-sponsored trip, but they are our students. So I felt like it was very important that we understood the steps that were going into it and how we're getting the students selected.
So does this replace the trip that you used to take with the Japanese, that Mrs. Straight?
You know, this would hopefully be a restart of that.
Oh, so they stopped?
We have stopped doing that. She was the last teacher to take students there, and so we're hoping to jumpstart that back. That it would be a true exchange program where students would come from Kuji, and then we would also travel to Kuji. The students would leave here on Wednesday, travel almost 24 hours, arrive in Tokyo, spend one night in Tokyo, and then they would ride the bullet train to Kuji and stay for 5 days, leave that Friday, fall break or spring break, travel Friday night, Saturday, arrive home Saturday night, and then have one rest day before they go back to school. So that's what we're looking at. If anybody would like to go, they're looking for additional chaperones. But it's a great opportunity for our students for cultural awareness and really hitting our first guiding principle of individual student growth, and just providing that opportunity for experiences through a wide variety of themes.
We had two of our sons that went on the trip with Mrs. Strait, and it really is a wonderful experience for the students.
On our high school website, we do have PowerPoint, I believe, from Greg's presentation, and we're taking applications through the 24th.
Okay. All right, board administrative comments.
I have a few. On August the 20th, please mark your calendars, both board and community. We are honoring the alumni class of 2015 for Franklin Community High School. We previously announced that, but we will have an actual induction service 6 o'clock for the dinner, and about 6:45 we'll begin the service. We will be having students that are magna cum laude, summa cum laude students come and participate as well. And then we're inviting several people throughout the community. We have everyone, I believe, at this point represented. We're still waiting, I think, for Mr. Vanderveer. We are thumbs up, so now everybody will have someone in attendance and representing them. And we are having different people announce the inductee. And then on the 21st, it's the home football game, and we're having a tailgate party celebration for everybody. And that was also for all the community, for them to come out and celebrate the inductees. 2 weeks from tonight, we'll have joint city council and school board meeting beginning at 6. Is that correct on the time? Beginning at 6. We just have a few items. I'll be sharing those with Friday notes. If you could look over those, see if there's anything you want to add. We'll be talking about safe routes to school, SRO officers. We're looking at enrollment, and also, what was the other one today we mentioned? There was one more that we mentioned as well, but it's on my mind right now. And then on September the 25th, we'll be traveling to Webb Elementary for the quarterly school board meeting, and that's breakfast at 7. Mrs. Moran and her staff will begin their presentations about 7:40 and will conclude at 9 o'clock.
Okay, now then, back here, just up here in number 7, there's a few more board administrative comments about TIF from Mr. Mercer and the Cub Academy and soccer.
Yeah, Dr. Clendenning and I attended the redevelopment commission meeting been a week and a half ago. Of course, Mr. Vaught serves on that board as well. And we wanted to get a little bit of additional information. Just in a nutshell, apparently, I believe since 2012, the county has inadvertently sent TIF dollars to the redevelopment commission that should have actually been going to the various taxing entities, of which we are one. And the dollars that are allocated to Franklin Community Schools total $406,000 is what we've been told. I know Mr. Young followed up with Janet Alexander to try to determine when we might receive that money. I really expect it almost any time, but we haven't gotten it yet. Those dollars will be allocated by percentage to each of our taxable funds. So debt service, capital projects, bus replacement, and transportation operating will each receive those dollars, but that was very good news for us, not such good news for the redevelopment commission. We will happily take the $406,000 and keep you posted when those dollars arrive.
On Cub Care and Cub Academy, this is the kickoff year for both of them. We have 299 students participating in before and after school care. And Mrs. Brown is doing a phenomenal job of getting those. Just by school, we have CBIS, 24 students. Creekside wins with 96 students. Needham 61, Northwood 37, Union 41 students, and Webb 36 students for 299, which is an outstanding number. Cub Academy, Katie, if you remember, she talked throughout last semester, 60 was our target number. She has found a way to find 61 students for us, and she tells me that there are a few kids on the waiting list and she could get in. But we are at capacity at both Webb, Creekside, and Northwood. Next month, we will hear from Katie and from Sandra about both programs, what's taking place, what it looks like for the rest of this year. And for Cub Enrichment, we are moving forward with that. I'm going to recommend next month that we make some shifts internally and make sure we get ready to roll that out on January the 1st. So we'll be talking more about Cub Enrichment in the September board meeting. The soccer storage and concessions last board meeting, you did approve a donation from the Franklin soccer booster, and you will see a drawing on the concessions, and that will be between the JV field and the varsity field, closest to the softball. Is that correct, Mr. Doty? Mr. Doty did submit all plans today to the city and the state, and as soon as those get approved, he will notify the appropriate people with the Booster Club, and we will begin. Hope to have it completed by the end of the season. I think that's what Mr. Harris was hoping that would be done by the end of this month, but I think with permits, et cetera, it may not be until mid-September, late September.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right, any other board comments? All right, we're near the end. Any public comments on items that were not on the agenda? Seeing none and hearing none, I'd entertain a motion.
So moved.
So moved, and we are adjourned. Thank you.